Okay, have you ever, like, rage quit a website
Oh, yeah.
because it was taking forever to load?
Totally.
Or had an app crash, like, right when you were about to do something important?
Yep.
I know I have, and it is so frustrating. It makes you
Mm.
wonder, like, did anyone even test this thing?
Right.
Well, that's exactly what we are diving into today.
Okay.
The often unseen, but super crucial world of performance testing.
It's like the unsung hero of our digital lives.
Right.
We often take smooth and seamless experiences for granted
Yeah,
until we hit that dreaded loading reel, or even worse, a complete system meltdown.
totally. And to help us understand how it all works, we've got an excerpt from
Okay.
performance testing, ensuring speed and stability.
Nice.
And our mission today is to uncover why performance testing matters
Yeah.
and how it directly impacts our everyday digital lives.
It's kind of like taking your car for a tune-up before a big road trip.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to set off cross-country without making sure your engine could handle it, right?
Right.
Performance testing is essentially a tune-up for software.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
What exactly is performance testing?
So at its core,
Yeah.
it's about evaluating how software behaves under different conditions.
Okay.
Like we are talking about simulating real-world scenarios,
Uh-huh.
like a sudden surge in users on a website
Right.
during a big sale,
Oh, okay.
or thousands of people trying to access a banking app simultaneously.
So it's like a stress test,
Mm-hmm.
but for websites and apps instead of our hearts.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about finding the breaking points, the bottlenecks
Yeah.
that can cause slowdowns,
Right.
crashes,
Yeah.
and ultimately frustrated users.
I'm starting to see why this matters.
Yeah.
But why should I care? I mean, I use these apps and websites.
Yeah.
I don't build them.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Every time you abandon a slow website or delete an app that keeps crashing,
Yeah.
you're sending a message. Those are the consequences of poor performance testing.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not just about individual frustration.
Right.
It has a real impact on businesses too.
Oh, yeah. Their reputation and ultimately their bottom line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that even a 1-second delay in page loading
Wow.
can lead to a 16% drop in customer satisfaction.
Really?
Imagine that happening on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Companies lose customers.
Oh, wow.
Revenue plummets.
Yeah.
And everyone's unhappy.
That's a pretty steep drop for just 1 second.
It is.
Suddenly, performance testing doesn't seem so behind the scenes anymore.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It's about ensuring that apps and websites are fast,
Right.
reliable,
Yeah.
and can handle whatever we throw at them without breaking a sweat.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Good.
So let's dive into the different types of performance testing.
Okay.
What are we dealing with here?
So there are several types,
Yeah.
each designed to address specific performance concerns. So you have load testing,
Mhm.
stress testing,
Right.
scalability testing,
Uh-huh.
endurance testing,
Yeah.
spike testing,
Yep.
and volume testing.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's a lot of testing.
it is.
Sounds pretty intense.
It can be,
Yeah.
but each type plays a crucial role.
Okay.
Let's focus on a few key ones
Yeah, okay.
to illustrate how it works in the real world.
Okay.
Take load testing, for example.
Okay.
Think of it like simulating Black Friday on Amazon.
Yeah.
Thousands of shoppers clicking, adding items to their carts, and checking out simultaneously.
Wow.
Load testing helps determine if the website can handle that massive influx of users
Okay.
without crashing or
Right.
slowing down.
That's a great example. So it's like a
Yeah.
digital stress test.
Yeah,
Making sure the website doesn't buckle under pressure.
yeah.
What about stress testing? How's that different?
Imagine pushing a car to its absolute limits
Okay.
to see when and how it breaks down.
Yeah.
Stress testing for software is similar. It's about finding the breaking point
Right.
and then observing how the system recovers.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, it helps create a recovery plan for when things inevitably go wrong in a live environment.
So it's like purposely pushing the software to its limits.
Yeah,
To see how it handles extreme pressure and if it can bounce back.
exactly.
Okay.
Now, let's say
Yeah.
a popular restaurant
Mhm.
suddenly gets super busy.
Okay.
During lunchtime,
Yeah.
they might need to expand their seating
Right.
or hire more staff to keep things running smoothly.
Yeah.
That's similar to scalability testing.
Okay.
It evaluates how well software adapts to increasing demands,
Right.
like a sudden influx of users without compromising performance.
These real-world examples make it so much easier to understand.
They do.
It's like seeing the practical application
Yeah.
of each testing type.
It's all about making sure your software works as intended,
Right.
no matter the circumstances. We don't want any digital meltdowns, right?
Definitely not.
Good.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why
Mm-hmm.
of performance testing.
Yes.
Now, how do we measure success?
Okay.
What were the key metrics we're looking at here?
So from a technical standpoint,
Yeah.
we have metrics like response time,
Mhm.
throughput,
Right.
error rate,
Okay.
concurrent users,
Gotcha.
and resource utilization.
Okay.
But let's translate that into something we can all relate to.
Yes, please.
Okay, so user experience.
Tell me more.
Picture this. You're browsing a website
Yeah.
and everything loads quickly,
Mm-hmm.
interactions are smooth,
Okay.
and you never encounter an error message. That's
Yeah.
a sign of good performance.
Okay.
And from a business perspective,
Yeah.
fewer crashes mean more reliable service,
Right.
increased customer trust,
Yeah.
and ultimately higher revenue.
So happy users equal a successful business.
Makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
Good.
But how do we actually see these wins in action?
Okay.
Can you give us some real-world examples?
Absolutely. Let's take a closer look at a few case studies
Okay.
where performance testing made a real difference.
Oh, I love a good success story.
Yeah.
Hit me with them.
So remember that e-commerce platform we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
They were gearing up for Black Friday,
Right.
and they knew their website had to be ready for a massive surge in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
They used a combination of load and spike testing to identify potential bottlenecks
Okay.
and made necessary adjustments.
And what happened? Did they survive the Black Friday onslaught?
They not only survived,
Okay, good.
they thrived.
Nice.
The website handled the increased traffic without a hitch,
Wow.
leading to a smooth shopping experience for customers
Okay.
and a significant boost in revenue.
Okay, that's a win.
Mhm.
What about some other examples?
Okay, so we've got a banking app
Okay.
that was facing constant crashes during peak hours.
Oh,
You know, when
no.
everyone's trying to check their balances
Right.
or make transfer, it was a nightmare for both the bank and its customers.
Yeah, of course.
They used scalability and stress testing to identify the weak points.
So they basically put the app through a rigorous digital boot camp
Pretty much, yeah.
to find its breaking points.
Yeah.
What did they discover?
Turns out their database wasn't equipped to handle the surge in transactions
Ah, okay.
during those peak hours.
So they found the bottleneck?
It was like a traffic jam on a digital highway.
What did they do about it?
By upgrading their infrastructure and optimizing their code,
Okay.
they were able to eliminate those pesky crashes entirely.
Wow, nice.
Customers were happy,
Good.
trust in the app increased,
Mm-hmm.
and the bank breathed a sigh of relief.
Okay, so we've got happy online shoppers and happy banking customers.
Yep.
What's our last case study?
Okay, let's talk about a streaming service.
Right?
You know those platforms where you binge watch your favorite shows?
Yeah.
They were struggling with buffering issues and poor video quality, which was, let's face it, a major buzzkill for viewers.
Yeah, totally.
They knew they had to do something to improve the viewing experience,
Mm-hmm.
so they turned to endurance testing.
Endurance testing, that sounds pretty intense.
It is, yeah.
What's the idea behind that one?
It's like a marathon for software.
Okay.
Endurance testing is about simulating prolonged usage
Right.
over an extended period
Yeah.
to identify any performance degradation or memory leaks
Okay.
that might be causing those annoying buffering issues.
So it's like testing the software stamina,
Yeah,
making sure it can go the distance without getting tired and glitching out.
exactly.
Okay.
And in this case, the endurance testing helped them identify some underlying issues
Mm-hmm.
that were causing the buffering and poor video quality.
So what did they do to fix it?
By optimizing their video encoding and streaming protocols,
Okay.
they were able to significantly reduce buffering
Right.
and improve the overall viewing experience.
Happy customers all around. These case studies are great examples of how performance testing can address specific challenges and lead to real-world improvements.
They are.
But it can't all be smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that come with performance testing?
Well, one of the big ones is ensuring that the testing environment accurately reflects the real-world production environment.
Okay.
Otherwise, you might get misleading results.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then there's the need for significant resources.
Okay.
Think powerful computers and specialized software,
Right.
which can be costly.
So it's not just about running a few tests on your laptop. It requires a bit more firepower.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the complexity of simulating real-world scenarios
Okay.
with all their nuances and variables.
Right.
It's not always a walk in the park.
So it's not as simple as just pushing a button and saying, go
Right.
test. There's a lot of strategy and expertise involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But fear not. There are best practices to overcome these challenges and make sure we're getting the most out of our performance testing efforts.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's hear them.
Okay.
What are the secrets to effective performance testing?
One of the most important things is to define clear objectives from the start.
Okay.
What are we trying to achieve with these tests?
Right.
Are we trying to identify bottlenecks?
Yeah.
Ensure scalability?
Mm.
Or validate performance under peak load?
So before we even start testing, we need to know exactly what we're looking for.
Exactly.
Like,
Once we have our objectives,
yeah.
we need to design realistic test scenarios
Okay.
that mimic real-world user behavior,
Right.
including different devices,
Right.
networks,
Yeah.
and usage patterns.
Right. Because we want to make sure our tests reflect real-world conditions as closely as possible.
Precisely.
Okay.
And remember our discussion about environmental variability.
Yeah.
The testing environment should mirror the production environment as closely as possible to avoid misleading results.
So it's not just about the software itself.
Yeah.
It's about the entire ecosystem
It is, yeah.
on which it operates.
Mhm.
What about best practices for the testing process itself?
So automation is key.
Okay.
Automating your tests wherever possible not only saves time and effort,
Right.
but also ensures consistency and repeatability.
Okay.
It allows for continuous monitoring
Yeah.
and early detection of performance issues
Oh.
throughout the development cycle.
So automation isn't just about speed.
Yeah.
It's about building quality and reliability into the process.
Right.
What about the human element?
Okay.
How do teams ensure effective collaboration?
So collaboration is absolutely essential.
Okay.
Performance testing is not a solo endeavor.
Right.
It requires seamless communication and coordination between developers, testers, and operations teams. Everyone needs to be on the same page, sharing insights and working together to ensure that performance is a top priority throughout the entire software development lifecycle.
So it's a team effort, just like building the software itself.
Exactly.
Everyone needs to be on board and working together.
Yeah.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Okay.
I'm already looking at my apps and websites with a newfound appreciation for all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into making them run smoothly.
I'm glad to hear that.
But before we move on to part 2, where we'll dive into the specific tools and techniques of performance testing, any final thoughts for our listeners?
So what's fascinating is how often we take good performance for granted.
Yeah,
We only really notice it when things go wrong.
true.
So next time you're using an app or website, take a moment to appreciate the times when everything works seamlessly.
Okay,
It's often the result of a lot of careful planning, testing,
Right.
and optimization.
great point. We'll be right back with part 2, where we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the tools and techniques used in performance testing.
Great.
Stay tuned.
See you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of performance testing. We've just scratched the surface of this fascinating field, exploring why it matters and the different types of tests that keep our digital lives running smoothly.
Right. And while we've touched on the strategic aspects, it's time to get a bit more hands-on. Let's talk tools.
Okay.
The digital toolbox that empowers performance testers
Yeah.
to put software through its paces.
Okay, I'm ready to geek out a bit. What are some of the key players in this performance testing toolkit?
Oh, there's a whole ecosystem of tools out there,
Right.
each with its strengths and specialties.
Okay.
Some popular names you might come across include
Yeah.
Apache JMeter,
Mm-hmm.
LoadRunner,
Okay.
Gatling, NeoLoad,
Yeah.
and BlazeMeter.
Those sound pretty high tech.
They are.
Can you break them down for us non-experts?
Sure.
What makes each one stand out?
Okay, let's start with Apache JMeter.
Okay.
It's a favorite in the open source community,
Right.
known for its flexibility
Okay.
and ability to simulate a wide range of scenarios.
Yeah.
Think of it as a versatile Swiss Army knife for load testing.
I like that analogy. It sounds
Yeah.
like a great starting point for teams looking for a powerful but budget-friendly option.
Yeah.
What about LoadRunner?
LoadRunner is more of an enterprise-grade solution.
Okay.
It offers a comprehensive suite of performance testing capabilities with in-depth analytics and reporting.
Right.
If JMeter is the Swiss Army knife,
Yeah.
LoadRunner is the state-of-the-art lab.
So for larger organizations with more complex needs and resources, Load Runner might be the way to go.
That's right.
What about some of the other tools?
So Gatling is another popular choice,
Okay.
particularly for teams focused on speed and efficiency.
Right.
It's designed to handle high-load scenarios
Yeah.
and integrate seamlessly with continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines essential for modern software development workflows.
So for teams that are all about automation and rapid development cycles, Gatling seems like a perfect fit.
Exactly.
What about NeoLoad?
Okay, so NeoLoad is another heavyweight contender,
Okay.
especially when it comes to simulating realistic user behavior.
Right.
It excels at large-scale performance tests,
Yeah.
providing detailed insights into how real users would experience an application.
It sounds like NeoLoad is all about capturing those nuanced real-world interactions.
Yes.
What about our last tool on the list, BlazeMeter?
BlazeMeter is a cloud-based platform known for its flexibility and scalability.
Okay.
It offers a wide range of testing options
Yeah.
and is compatible with JMeter scripts,
Okay.
making it a versatile choice for teams of all sizes.
So whether you're a small startup or a large enterprise, there's a performance testing tool out there to fit your specific needs and budget. It's like choosing the right tool for the job, just like in any other field.
Precisely.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just as using any tool effectively
Yeah.
requires skill and practice,
Yeah.
performance testing is about more than just picking a tool and hitting go.
Right. Well,
It's about understanding your objectives,
yeah.
designing realistic scenarios,
Mhm.
and analyzing the results
Right.
to make informed decisions.
Okay, so we've got our toolbox ready.
Yeah.
Let's talk about best practices.
Okay.
Earlier, we touched on some key strategies,
Right.
but are there any specific tips for getting the most out of performance testing?
Absolutely. One of the most crucial aspects is defining clear, measurable objectives
Okay.
right from the start.
Right.
It's not enough to just say, let's do some performance testing.
Yeah.
We need to ask ourselves, what are we trying to achieve?
Right.
Are we aiming to identify bottlenecks,
Yeah.
ensure scalability,
Mm.
or validate performance under specific load conditions?
So it's all about having a clear goal in mind before we even start writing those test scripts.
Exactly.
Together.
Once we've established our objectives,
Yeah.
the next step is designing realistic test scenarios.
Okay.
This means understanding how real users interact with the software,
Right.
their typical usage patterns,
Mm-hmm.
the devices they use, the networks they're on,
Yeah.
and even the variations in user behavior.
It's about going beyond the theoretical and capturing those real-world nuances that can make or break an application's performance.
Right.
Yeah.
And remember our discussion about environmental variability.
Yeah.
The testing environment should mirror the production environment as closely as possible
Yeah.
to avoid misleading results.
So it's not just about the software itself, it's about the entire ecosystem in which it operates.
Mm-hmm.
What about best practices for the testing process itself?
So automation is key.
Okay.
Automating your tests wherever possible not only saves time and effort,
Right.
but also ensures consistency and repeatability.
Okay.
It allows for continuous monitoring and early detection of performance issues throughout the development cycle.
So automation isn't just about speed, it's about building quality and reliability into the process.
Right.
What about the human element? How do teams ensure effective collaboration?
So collaboration is absolutely essential.
Okay.
Performance testing is not a solo endeavor.
Right.
It requires seamless communication and coordination between developers, testers, and operations teams.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be on the same page, sharing insights and working together to ensure that performance is a top priority
Okay.
throughout the entire software development lifecycle.
It's about breaking down those silos and creating a shared understanding of performance goals and how to achieve them.
Precisely.
Right.
And remember, performance testing is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of continuous improvement.
Right.
As technology evolves,
Yeah.
user expectations change,
Yeah.
and new challenges emerge.
Right.
We need to adapt our testing strategies and methodologies
Okay.
to stay ahead of the curve.
It's like a constant evolution,
Yeah,
refining our approaches and techniques
right.
to ensure that we're delivering the best possible user experience.
Exactly. By embracing these best practices, organizations can move beyond simply testing for performance,
Yeah,
for
right.
actively building performance into the very fabric of their software development process.
This has been a fantastic deep dive into the world of performance testing tools and best practices. I'm feeling much more equipped to navigate this complex landscape.
It's been a pleasure exploring these concepts with you.
Yeah, but our journey isn't over yet.
That's right.
We still have some important ground to cover.
We do.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into performance testing.
Yeah,
We've covered so much,
we have.
from the different types of testing to the tools and the best practices
Right.
that keep our digital experiences running smoothly.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. But before we wrap up, let's bring it all back to our listener.
Okay.
What does all this mean for the everyday user?
Right.
How does performance testing impact their digital lives?
Well, think about it this way. The next time you're browsing an online store
Okay.
or using a banking app
Yeah.
or streaming your favorite show,
Right.
you can appreciate that invisible hand of performance testing at work.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
No crashes,
Right.
no frustrating lag,
Yeah,
just smooth, reliable performance.
exactly. And as users,
Yeah.
we actually have a role to play too.
Oh, how so?
By providing feedback on our experiences,
Okay.
both good and bad.
Right.
We help developers and testers understand what's working
Yeah.
and what needs improvement.
So it's a two-way street.
Mm,
We benefit from their work,
right?
and our feedback helps them make things even better.
Precisely.
I like that.
Yeah.
So performance testing,
Yeah.
it isn't just about those technical metrics and complex tools.
Mm.
It's about user satisfaction, business success,
Yeah.
and ultimately
Yeah.
a smoother, more enjoyable digital experience for all of us.
For everyone.
And as our reliance on the digital world continues to grow,
Yeah.
performance testing will only become more important.
Absolutely.
So it's an evolving field that requires constant adaptation
Mm-hmm.
and a commitment to delivering the best possible user experience.
The best user experience.
Absolutely. So the next time you run into a slow website or a crashing app,
Yeah.
remember those unsung heroes of performance testing
Right.
who are working so hard behind the scenes
They are.
to prevent those very issues?
Yeah.
And maybe take a moment to appreciate those times
Okay.
when things do work seamlessly.
Right.
It's often the result of so much careful planning,
Yeah.
testing,
Mm-hmm.
and optimization.
Well said. It's been a pleasure diving into this topic.
Likewise.
Yeah.
And to our listener, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of performance testing.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep learning,
Keep learning.
and keep those apps and websites running smoothly.
Yeah.